Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Today is a video that I've been feeling very called to do and very excited to. Anybody that has a YouTube channel, this is a way that we can speak out, that people will view it, and you can share and use it as a way to support the cause for Black Lives Matter. Not just the event that has happened recently with George Floyd, which I don't even want to discuss because it's so horrific. But none of the events that have led up to this cause are okay. And I just want everybody to know that I support you, showing support for these brands, because my eyes have been opened, and I mean, none of it is purposeful. None of it is with any intent behind it. But I look back on purchases I've made and makeup that I use frequently and brands that I constantly am purchasing from. And I am guilty of only focusing on those brands that are very well known and very, big, billion, multi-million dollar companies. I just feel like from now on I want to make a meaningful choice to expand my makeup collection to brands that are smaller companies, that are indie brands, and most importantly Black-owned beauty brands. I'm just going to say, my heart goes out to everybody that is affected by this, and I am here to support you as much as I can. And I actually watched Emily Knowles' video. If you don't subscribe to her, I'm going to link her below. She's amazing. I love her channel. But she did a video like this using Black-owned brands and hit the nail on the head. Us as consumers, we are powerful. You might think buying a foundation, what are you doing? But you're supporting a company, and if we're more mindful of the companies we're supporting, you can make a huge impact just with your money. And so I think that is something that's so, you may be feeling kind of like I was feeling, like, well, what can I do? What can I do to support this cause? But even in your everyday makeup routine, you can be more mindful of the brands that you're purchasing these products from. And I think that's something that I'm taking from it, because makeup is such a huge part of my life. And so this is a way that I can make a change in my life to be more mindful of that. So anyways, let's get to the makeup, because I have some pretty amazing products from these brands. There are so many brands, and it's insane because I almost feel guilty. I didn't even know how many Black-owned makeup brands there were, and it kind of makes me ashamed of that, but it's opened my eyes to that, and I'm definitely going to be looking into purchases from those brands, brands like Beauty Bakery, brands like Uma, brands like, there's so many out there. And I'm going to link these articles below so you can take a look at all these brands that we can, as a makeup community, support. And so I have mainly products from the two most well-known brands, Fenty Beauty by Rihanna and Pat McGrath Labs. So those two brands I have a ton of makeup from that I'm going to be using today. I actually wasn't even aware that a brand that I have products from was a Black-owned makeup brand, and that is Ace Beauté. I actually have gotten all of these products in BoxyCharm boxes, so and I've always enjoyed them. So I'm going to kind of go off of these as well. I'm also going to link below a few things. I'm going to link below some videos. If you liked today's video and you want to see more, makeup tutorials using Black-owned makeup brands, I'm going to link a few that I've watched. Kathleen Lights did one, as I said, Emily Knoll. There's so many out there, so I'm going to link those. I'm also going to link some makeup brands, and I encourage you to comment below some Black-owned makeup brands that, as I said, we as a makeup community can check out and support. And then I'm also going to link below some sites that you can potentially donate money to the cause. So I'm going to link all that below, and let's just get started into today's makeup. So I'm going to start with my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. I tried this initially and wasn't quite sure because it kind of feels really creamy and almost like thick, but it dries down really nicely. I also wasn't sure because it didn't do a whole lot for my pores. But then I continued to use it, and actually I find this is good when I need a little bit of extra like hydration. It kind of balances my skin a little bit because I do get dehydrated, but it also helps grip the makeup. And then I will just pair it with one of my favorite pore filling primers. So unfortunately I don't have a pore filling primer from a Black-owned company. I'm just going to go ahead and use my POREfessional. I don't have everything, so I do apologize, but as I said, I'm going to be looking into more products from other various brands that I have not tried yet to support them. Now I'm going to go into my Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. When I tried this, I actually didn't love it. I haven't tried it again yet because I've been trying so many foundations, but as I mentioned before, I have been noticing that this Fenty primer has been helping hydrate my skin a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and pair it with this today and see what my, how I feel about it today. I do not have a concealer from a Black-owned company, but I do have this Matchstick in Linen by Fenty Beauty. It's almost like a concealer, like it's coverage. I'm gonna try to use this as concealer. I also have two cream contours by Fenty Beauty. I have my Cheeks Out cream contour in Amber and my Matchstick. I've been using this a lot because I love the formula of it. It's really, really blendable, but I haven't used this in a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my Matchstick, but I am going to contour first and apply my foundation over top, just because I feel like this kind of tugs at the foundation a little bit. If you've seen Tati Westbrook's video where Scott Barnes does her makeup, this is a technique that he uses, and he just does the contour first. It looks a little bit extreme, but then you lay your foundation over it and it looks really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead with the foundation and we will see how it does. This time I'm going to use my beauty blender. Okay, so I think I'm liking this foundation a little bit better on the skin with that primer that's a little more hydrating. I'm quickly gonna just apply a little extra concealer. This is the Hydrating Camo Concealer by e.l.f. The Linen Matchstick actually provided me with quite a bit of coverage, but just for those under eye circles, I feel like I need a little bit of an extra assist. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me because, oh my goodness, I've been obsessed lately, but also because I do unfortunately not own a powder from a Black-owned beauty brand. So again, this has kind of opened my eyes to see the areas that I'm lacking, where, in the brands that I need to investigate and test. So I'm gonna bake my under eyes. I'm gonna go off of my eyeshadow palettes that I'm gonna be using today and take a matte brown and use it for my brows today. So for my Black-owned palettes, I have my Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows, which I'm actually not going to be working with today because these three here are ones that I haven't really played a ton around with. So I have my two Ace Beauté shadow palettes. And then there's the Pat McGrath, which I think actually would be the winner. Like out of those, I think that's the best one. So I'm going to go ahead and do my brows with the matte brown in this palette called Deep Shade. Okay, so my brows look a little bit auburn still, but that's okay. They're not that bad. I hope on camera they don't look more red than they do in person. By the way, if you guys watched my MAC bronzing collection review, if I look like I have way too much bronzer on or if it looks orange, I apologize. I made a note, but I don't know if all of you saw that. I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, because like I play around with some settings sometimes. I didn't, like, as I was editing the video, I didn't notice any issues at all. It just, it looked way more intense and more kind of orange hued than it did in person. I say that because I don't want you guys to think that it wasn't a good bronzer, because it really was. I just apologize. I hope it didn't look too bad. So anyways, I don't want to take away from the product that we're using today, so let's wipe away this bake. No, it still looks dry. Okay, so yeah, darn. I was really hoping that this would change my mind about that foundation. I honestly just don't think it's for me personally. It doesn't look that bad. I know, and I'm sure on camera you guys can't see, but up in here, my skin, it just is too dry. Now that being said, I baked, which I know sounds contradicting because when your skin is dry, baking is not gonna help. But the way that this powder looks and when I bake with it, it just makes my concealer, my foundation look so smooth and bright. So I was hoping, so I'm gonna try this one more time, no baking, hydrating primer, and I'm gonna get back to you. I really wanted this to work, but anyways, so many things from Fenty I love. So even if it doesn't work out, I mean, I love this right here, which is my next step. It is the Pro Filter eyeshadow primer. This eyeshadow primer is the most heavy duty eyeshadow primer that I have used ever. Like, best eyeshadow primer I've used hands down for long wearing. Sometimes get patchy and it can skip because it's so tacky. You have to let it dry, and I've said this before, so you have to let it dry. So we're just gonna wait a few minutes. I'm gonna go off of this palette here because I've only used this the one time and I'm super pumped to use it again. I've also discovered a few things that I'd like to share with you guys about that palette, but there's also these two palettes here. Don't mind the dents in the two shades here. My son, once in a while, if he's alone for literally 2 seconds near my makeup, he tries to get into it. So he got a hold of this one, but luckily he didn't destroy it. Like, I'm not even joking you about the whole 2 seconds. Like, he's only 2, so it's not like I'm leaving him alone all the time. Like, he is such a little stinker. He gets into everything. But anyways, so this is the Grand Noir palette. Very warm, but so stunning. Like, I'll just show you a swatch of this Prime Rose. Like, wow, eh? So pretty. There's a matte, it's called Poppy. This one I find is a touch dusty, but if you're tapping off your excess, it's so pigmented and it blends out beautifully. So if you don't mind that, they're not bad. They just have a little bit of kickback. And then there's like this peachy color, which is really pretty. It's a very interesting palette. It's kind of unique. And Ace Beauté, as I said, I didn't even know is a Black-owned brand, but I've always enjoyed her palettes. I played around with these two a few times now. And actually, I do have, I think the Grand Noir palette. I had a duplicate from a BoxyCharm, and so it's in my giveaway bin. So I was actually watching some videos on YouTube, as I usually do, and I came across Tati Westbrook. I watch her all the time, but I came across her video on Pat McGrath palettes, one of her old ones. And these two shades here, VR Pink and Astral Ghost Orchid, I really liked them because they were such a beautiful duochrome. So that's VR Pink. So stunning, eh? And this one's really nice on its own too. But this, especially this one next to it, is the Astral Ghost Pink. And I actually have some old swatch. So my hand's darker than usual. Like when I put it on my arm, you can barely see it. I wasn't overly impressed by, you know, the pigmentation. Like I wanted them to be a little bit punchier. But something that I learned from Tati is when you lay down a black, which such a rich black in this Patograph palette, when you lay it down, and this is that white Astral Ghost Orchid, when you lay it on top, look at that now. Like, wow. And I'm going to show you the VR Pink. Like, just incredible. And they look pretty similar, but it's just really cool when they're laid on top of a darker color. I'm going to kind of go off of these 3 palettes and we're going to have some fun with it. So I'm going to take a Morphe E30. I'm going to take Patchouli from the Grandois palette. This Vintage Dawn palette, I'm going to take my Morphe R35. I have 2 mascaras. One is Fenty Beauty and one is Pat McGrath. I love them both. I think I'm going to go with Fenty because it's newer. And also because I think I like it a little bit better only because it is a little bit more voluminous. Although this one is like perfect for separating and lengthening. They're both stunning. I don't know. They're both really good. They're both good recommendations. I really like this look because it's colors I typically wouldn't put. It's going so well, and then that happened. Why? Little tip. Yes, biggest tip for removing mascara you get on your skin is leave it, but that's a whole ton, and we'd be here for an hour for that to dry. So what I do. See how it's just gone? I obviously picked up a little bit of my mascara or foundation. You use the Q-tip. Let's say you got it right here. You're gonna take it and you're gonna apply a bit of pressure and then just roll it. And it should remove it. That's always worked for me. And then what I'll do is I'll just take my beauty blender and kind of go over the area, and it's typically pretty good. It might pick up a little bit of your foundation, but like I wouldn't typically match orange with pink, but I think it flows, especially after I added that purple down at the bottom. I don't have a bronzer, like a powder bronzer. I have a lot of cream contour from Fenty, but I don't have a powder bronzer. So for today, unfortunately, I'm gonna just have to use a different brand. I'm gonna use my MAC Beijing Beauty. Again, as I said, they are pigmented, but no, they were not as pigmented and orangey as on camera in that video. I felt so embarrassed. I went back, so I uploaded the video, and then I went back and watched it, and I'm like, what happened? Like, I edited it, it looked so good. Like, look at that. Yeah, it's pigmented, but like, holy smokes. I was like, it looks I was at first, I'm like, it looks kind of orange. I was like, I really thought it didn't look orange. And sometimes the camera can like make things look a little bit different. But I don't know if I did something when I was editing it, like by accident. My son Hudson touches my computer all the time. Who knows? I'm not gonna blame it on him because it probably was me that by accidentally, like, as I'm exporting it, clicked something and it did. I don't know. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't even know what happened, but like, I really hope in this video you guys can see how stunning it is. And again, I feel really bad that I just went on a tangent about this because this is not what this video is about. But I just wanted to put out there that this is not orange. That is all I'm gonna say anymore. So for blush, I also don't have anything, so I do really apologize. I'm gonna just go ahead and pop one on. I thought it would be nice to use this shade here from the Pat McGrath. And yes, you can use eyeshadow as highlight. You know, if you don't have the money to go out and buy a highlight, it's an eyeshadow. The other thing too is like the Pat McGrath palettes are expensive, so why not get as much use as you can out of them. Okay, so now is lips, and I have quite a few Pat McGrath lip sticks, like very pigmented. That's Beauty Junkie. That actually, you know what, I think would go. It kind of matches that pink on the lid. I think that's stunning. I love that shade. This is actually one of my favorite shades. The Fenty Beauty, the Gloss Bomb. It's a universal lip luminizer and it's in the shade Fussy. I've heard good things about this. Pop that on the lips as well. Such a stunning gloss, eh? I used it a few times, but not with a darker gloss, like a darker lipstick, and I think it just makes your lips look so pouty and so like shiny and stunning. Love it. It's comfortable too. Okay, so I'm really happy actually with my makeup today. I just feel very inspired to be more mindful of what brands I'm purchasing from, because this is, as I said, a way we can support the Black community, because Black lives do matter. And I just want to once again just say I definitely support you all as much as I can, and this is something that I can do. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. And again, don't forget, comment below any Black owned brands that you enjoy, any maybe specific products you want me to try. And have a wonderful day, guys. Thanks again so much for watching. Bye.